Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Hi, it's Angel. Welcome to Beyond Charts Morning Brew. And it is about 8:32, April 18th, guys. April 18th. I'm getting some things ready here for us. All right, so the markets are under pressure here, guys. So let's get to it. Let's see what's going down on this horizon here. All right, so we are all set here. All right, I'm just gonna add some screens here. So for this week, guys, real quick, what I'm looking at, just to let you know, there's a couple, announcements here that we have to be cautious of or aware of. So basically, we have a few Feds, like Fed Bullard is speaking today, but that's going to be after the market closes. So not a big deal here. We got Evan speaking tomorrow during the markets right at lunch that could move the markets possibly. We got Evans again here on Wednesday at 11:30. Again, we'll be looking at the bond market, see how that reacts. Not a big deal as far as this week. But Wednesday, there's another big event too, and I'm going to share that with you. The other one is going to be here Thursday because we have jobless claims here. And then, again, the job report is the one that's going to, kind of signal to the market recession. I think the market right now is just going to wait and see. Most important, we got Powell again at 1 o'clock. Again, Powell and Lagarde. So, again, this is a sneaky one, just as a IMF panel, but we have to be pertinent of this information right here at 1 o'clock on Thursday because he is speaking and that could move. We got Japan Bank here. So again, some numbers here macroeconomic that we have to be aware of, but the most importantly, we have to be aware of what the chairman is going to say. Who's out there? What's up, Grady? What's up, Grady? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. So that's one we got to be aware of. But most important, I think that the market is waiting on these numbers right here, which is the earnings report. This is the big one here. On Wednesday, we got Tesla. Okay, so what is the market looking for here? Okay, so I believe that the market is waiting on what these companies report this week, and I don't think it's about them beating. All right, it's really about what do they have to say about inflation, how are they going to guide for the year, and what is management thinking. Okay, so that's most important. So this earnings report, in my humble opinion, is going to be all about listening to the words that these guys are saying. Okay, we had a few things that came out last week and they were not good. Okay, so I think that there are bubbles that are bursting here. What did I see? It was last week that TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, reported theirs, and the market didn't like it. So TSM fell prey to the spiral of mega caps, fall, China tension waves. So again, so the chips are are feeling the effects of that. This week we do have Tesla. Tesla's one of the only one mega tech stocks that I like. But my line in the sand for Tesla, and as soon as I get to it, it's going to be 936. So again, 936 key levels to watch, and I'm going to get into this too as well, but it has earnings on Wednesday. We have Bank of America reports today, and that's the other one today here. Bank of America reports pre-market open. I don't know what those numbers are right now, but I'm going to be looking at that. And we have a lot of banks announcing this week. So again, we also know that Goldman Sachs increased their 35% chance of the U.S. entering into a recession, and that is within 2 years. So again, numbers are coming out. We have J.P. Morgan that announced last week, and they did not come out with a very positive outlook. So this is their second quarter in a row that they're coming out with that outlook. And I think as I read through the report, they said that they increased their credit reserve to default in the next year. So that's going to hurt. Basically, what that means is that they expect that people, as the recession increases, inflation increases, that people will stop paying off their credit cards. Okay, so they're kind of preparing for that. We want to know what the other banks are going to say this week regards to that recession, default rates, credit default rates, again, because, we are starting to see that the interest rates are starting to climb. All right, as far as this week, let's get to it. What I'm looking at, we're putting stuff together. If you haven't joined the Patreon page, join the Patreon page. It's only $5. I sent out the weekly report. And then for the levels that we're going to be watching, those levels are going to be holding up pretty well. But I will be discussing it this morning live verbally with you guys. But if you want the report, it comes out on Sundays. Okay, and that's for the month. All right, so let's start looking here at the overall markets here. What are we going to be looking at? Because we got to look and see where we are in the market environment. What type of market environment are we in? So this is the SPX daily. This is the NASDAQ daily. And this is the Russell daily. Okay, so what do we have right now? Right now, the Russell... the XPX, it's right at that 50-day moving average. Try to break the 200-day, couldn't break. It's indecisive. It's in no man's land right here. So key thing here, is it going to go lower? And the bears are under, the XPX is under pressure today. So right now, E-minis are sitting at 43.77. That's going to put us right at 43.88, 87, right in here. So we're going to open below where we closed on Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday. So key level to watch here. The bulls need to defend this 43.70. They have to come in and start buying it. Otherwise, we could head lower. And I'm going to share with you where we can go. More than likely, just right off the bat, we're probably, if we open here and can't regain that 50, if you guys know this system that we trade, this is the daily, so this is a lot slower, but we got the MACDs starting to bearish decline. If it breaks zero, we're below the 50-day moving average. This is exactly where we like to trade it. And then you're just going to have to buy some time, because this is the daily. So again, a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and more likely it looks like the tide is going to go lower. Don't know what's going to turn it around, but we're under a lot of pressure right now. As far as the NASDAQ, same thing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We couldn't break the 50, gap down. Try to fill this gap here. We did. And look where all the moving averages now are breaking. The 4 just broke the 50. The 4 broke the 50. If these start going, momentum is probably more than likely is going to go lower. And we could retest these lows right down here around 13,076. Okay, the Russell, much weaker. Again, couldn't break above the 38 retracement line. It looks like it wants to go. Let's see. We're getting a nice little squeeze there. A little bit stronger here. Let's see if this goes. So, but if these two goes, this is going to go, or is this one is going to hold it? Russell's just been going sideways consolidation. The only thing that interest rates could help, the banks, and this is bank heavy. So let's watch it, observe it. But it's a very easy, let's see if it starts taking out that 1980, it's probably going to go down to these levels right here. But again, let's watch it, and we're going to dissect that. So this is the overall market conditions. This is what I'm noticing here. And let's see. Okay. So ultimately, what am I looking at? If this breaks down the MACDs, then we're going to go lower. All right. As far as the VIX, let's look at the VIX. The VIX last week, again, we're in this range, right? We the fear decimated quite a bit, so this is great. This was the last couple of weeks. So we're looking at the hourly VIX. Okay, so and this is on these boxes is per day. And the big box is a week, and that's kind of like I measure. We're using part of a Nicholas Darvis and the Beyond Chart system here. So what are we looking at? We're noticing that the VIX is climbing here at 24.50. We're seeing that in the E-minis, that the stock is under pressure. So now, do we climb higher? So again, what I'm looking at, how I translate this information is basically, do we start breaking the highs of the last couple of weeks? So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 weeks. If we start breaking up higher, that means that fear is entering into the market, and the market doesn't like what it's hearing. Again, we're pricing a recession. This war is still continuing. Don't think the war is going to end anytime soon. And guys, look, I just got to Miami, and I'm hearing, it's not confirmed, but the dollar's under pressure. I'm hearing that in Cuba, they're not accepting dollars anymore. They're accepting euros. Interesting, not confirmed. But if it's true, then that could be a little problematic, and the decline of the dollar has started. So again, don't know if it's true, but let's see. All right, as far as how we're going to go is if it starts breaking above here, then we're more than likely going to go higher, and we're going to be looking at puts. Again, they're going to be a little bit expensive, but more than likely, I feel that, the market has a lot of bearish pressure, but I'm going to get to it. If we by chance start breaking below this 23% and start getting into the lows of last week around 20, then that means we can probably go a little bit higher. Okay, the treasury notes here, 10-year note to the right, they're climbing. They're at 2.88. Remember, this is the 30-year note. They price in the 30-year note at a premium here. So this calculates the 30-year note around above 5%. So keep that in mind and watch that. Give me 1 second. All right. So, I was making coffee, so that's the noise there. All right, guys. So, what do we have? So that's 5-year note. So again, money's becoming more expensive, guys. You go out to get a car. I mean, $75,000 Corvettes are selling for about $100,000. The sticker prices are going up, so that's inflation. Recession. So don't know if that's gonna come down anytime soon, but we are noticing things getting more expensive. Again, so we have that, and that's climbing. That's going to put pressure on the Nasdaq, and that's how we see that the Nasdaq is under pressure, right? This is startup. This is tech heavy. That money becomes more expensive. It's harder for startups to go up. Also, the companies you invest in, right? So basically, we're going to be looking at what. Companies that are loaded in cash and that don't have debt, because now if they have debt, their debt is going to be cost more to service. Okay, so just know that. All right, as far as the E-minis here, again. What do we have on the E-minis? I already put my levels here on the E-minis. This is where the bulls need to defend. They need to defend that 43.60. All right. If they don't defend that, then more than likely we're probably going to go down and hit this 43.11. Again, guys, I'm using order flow here to see this. But right now, when we're losing the system here, the Beyond Chart system, I am noticing that momentum is shifting here. It's more than likely going to probably retest this 50-day moving average, which coincides with that 44.03. Okay, this is part of the Patreon information that you get the week before, and these are the levels for the week. Again, these levels will change, and again, I do provide levels per day, and for now they're included in that $5 package, but they'll be in another package until the end of the month. Okay, so we got 44.25 and we got 44.7. These levels been working like gangbusters. If you guys trade the levels, especially on the SPY, just eliminate one. Remember, guys, these markets are kind of tough right now. This is a trader's market. This is not a market that that you had the last couple of weeks where you have rocket emojis and this and that. You can make good money here. There's a lot of volatility, but we're gonna have to have a different mindset and trade the levels. That's why, if you noticed in the last this past year, I've changed the style and focused on a few things. And again, I'm just want to hit some singles and then walk away with nice profit. It's all about your P&L report for the week. This is what we teach. Again, you are going to get some losses, but we want to keep a minimum and we want to increase our P&L report for the week. And week after week, we want to be trading with profits. Okay, so more than likely, it looks like it's probably going to retest right there. We won't know. It's only 8:45, so we got another 15 minutes. Let me dissect here the 15-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame, 43.11 is going to put me where? Let me see right here. So 44.03 is going to put me right in this level here. So more likely, it looks like a promise goes coming to the end here, but we could have a second win. Let's see what happens here. But we're having a squeeze here at the end, and what I mean by that, we sold off all moving averages here. Come to the squeeze. And this is a Beyond Chart system here, guys, if you know it. But here's the squeeze right here, and let's see if that has momentum to go up to 43.11. On the 1-minute time frame, okay, I like this. It's not super robust, not just kind of steady. Let it hold here. There's going to be a lot of orders coming in at the open, so let's see what happens. I'd rather the orders come in closer to the open than now, because like we had last week where we had this tons of orders come in, this thing skyrocketed, and then like I said, those are usually false flags, a false breakout. So again, it's holding steady, and I put the levels here for you right here. and I'll just share this with you. 43. And then again, these are E-minis. This is the market that's open 24 hours for the most part. As far as the VIX, the XPX, if you're going to trade the XPX right now, 43.76, that's going to put me on the, again, we're looking at the XPX, 43.76, below these levels here. So we have to regain that 43.70, which is equivalent to 43.60. If we don't, then more than likely we're probably going to head lower. Momentum has been shifting on the XPX, and it's just been going down. The stream, the current, the weight is going down on the hourlies on the XPX. Okay, remember that. So no basing pattern here. The five best stocks, you can tell, has been predominantly red, not green, over the last couple of weeks. The MACDs right now, let's see what happens if we can hold, if it can start bouncing or breaking down again. But this is going to change. This is only open about 8 hours. I did hear that they're going to have XPX options every day. So again, great and good and bad. As far as good, okay, more liquidity. Bad, because then that's gonna enable more over trading. But again, just stick to your guns. Trade what you see. If it makes sense, trade them. If it doesn't, don't. So right now, if I had to take the XPX, nothing makes sense here to me. Nothing's near the 50. Does it look like it's coming back to the 50? Possibly. So 43.11 is gonna be 43.20. So, roughly we got to head up here, like a ballpark, right? So, and that's going to change. So 43.20 is going to be right around that 50. And we need to defend that 43.70. All right, so we'll see. Right now, I would like to see this kind of curl and head up to the 50, 44.03 right in there, and start curling up. And let's see what happens. Right now, the market's kind of going sideways. The last trading sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, so again, sideways sessions, 1, 2, 3, 4, sideways sessions. Okay, so again, just looking at it from multiple perspectives. All right, I'm just going to cover Bitcoin, guys. Bitcoin, just kind of lingering right here. Not really a clear direction here. I mean, if you want to trade it, it's a trader's market, but let's see if we can get above the 50. MACDs look a little weak here. So if I look at Bitcoin from a weekly perspective, still kind of doesn't know what to do. Let's look at a monthly perspective. And Bitcoin is declining here. It's a little bit weaker, let it base. But, no rush into Bitcoin unless you want to add it and hold on to it. And right now at 39, 38, right at these levels, good time to add if you're a Bitcoiner. Okay, as far as the overall markets, we're looking now at the movers for today, what I'm looking at. Okay, guys, so we're going to spend about the next 10, 15 minutes. Just what do I like, what I don't like, what I'm looking at, which options I'm looking at. So pay attention here. All right, so let me just look at the setups, and this is for the potential movers here. All right, so what are we looking at? This is the XPX, NASDAQ. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, looking for squeezes here. So CMG coming close to the squeeze. That could be a negative squeeze right here coming up. We got Tesla coming to a squeeze. Let's see what Tesla happens, okay? So on Tesla, let's see. Amazon. All right, I'm going to look here. So right off the bat, Goldman Sachs squeezing. Netflix, again. Shopify, man. Shopify could go lower. Again, we talked about Shopify. Remember, we had the trend. The trend was real simple. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just start looking at the usual suspects. Let's look at spiders. Again, spiders is right here. Again, this is moving now, and this is equivalent to the same thing. So spiders need to hold 436. 436 needs to be defended. If it's not, it's probably going to go to this 431. Okay, so know that. These are the levels here. It looks like it's coming to the end. We got some nice rally here before pre-market. Watch it at that 50-day moving average. See what happens. Again, is it going to be defended? If it starts breaking down, what I would like it to see, I would like it to come up to that 441, and see what happens there. And does it curl over and come back down to that 436 and maybe 431? But if it comes up, I'm going to be looking at some calls and puts. So if it comes up, ideally, that's what I would like to see. If it comes up, now this is a mini level here that it can go, but if it comes up, I'm going to be having on the screen puts. Okay, my puts. So it has to come up. My puts are going to be 436, 431, and I might give 2 weeks, 2 weeks for that. Okay, so again, if it comes up and you start noticing this start breaking, the MACD start breaking, it's a momentum play, then yeah, I'll probably have the 442, maybe the 444 calls. Okay, calls. But I need to see how the market's going to react in the next 30, 40 minutes. 50, yeah, 30, 40 minutes. This could be a squeeze right now. Let's see what happens, or bounce down. So more likely, I think it's probably going to go into this area and see what happens there. If it curls over, MACD's curl over, then that's when I'm going to be looking at those 431s, 432 puts. If it hangs out here and squeezes, then I'm going to be looking at calls. Okay, right now, 1 minute time frame, just kind of consolidating, doing nothing. This is exactly what I like it to see. I like it doing this right here, exactly this. Key level to watch is going to be 437 in the next when the market opens. 15 minutes after the market opens, watch 437, see how it reacts there. Okay, what else? Let's look at the QQQs. Qs. All right. So the Qs, what are we looking at the Qs here? The Qs, again, there's some selling pressure at that 338 right off the bat. Watch how it reacts there pre-market, right? 338, it's selling off, right? So that's what it's selling off. It's coming to a squeeze here, or is it continuation? Now, what I mean by that, when we start putting things together, we had a huge sell-off here. Does it come back up and then have an exhaustion sell? And that sell will probably last maybe 30 minutes and then get bought. Or does it break through and start climbing up towards this 342 and see what happens there? Again, we don't know what's going to happen, but this 338, they're selling it pre-market here. So they're sold it at 337, 338. They're selling it at 338. So that might be another level here that I'll be watching to see what happens, because it could come back, and MACDs could come back to 338, and then that's where the exhaustion sell might begin, right? So watch it at 338. If there's an exhaustion sell, that's where it might begin, okay? And then they might go to, you know, it's going to be short-lived, but it could probably go to 328, somewhere in there. Okay, so let's look at IWM. IWM is a little stronger, right? So it's just holding, consolidating here. Let me see. So we're at have it at the 50, right here. It's a beautiful setup, right? Like, again, could maybe retest the lows here. So if it starts curling, bouncing, we got at 198. It's having a hard time breaking above 200, right? But 198 pre-market, let's see if they sell it, see how it reacts there. If it starts curling, it can probably retest that 197. So not a lot of points there. And remember, Russell and SPY, our IWM and SPY, these are, 1 point is $10 on RUT and XPX. So it can go lower. It can probably even go to this 195. But I do like that. If it starts curling, and again, maybe by a week, 2 weeks out. Okay. If it starts squeezing, going higher, then yeah, we can probably retest these highs. Just trade them to a level 200. So that's 2 points. Okay. RET looking a little weak right now. That's good. I like it. I like it the way it is right now. Okay. The way it is. All right. Let's look at the Google. Google's just selling off, right? Just selling off big time. And Google, the thing about Google, guys, is that what people don't really understand is that I like Google. They don't have cash. Like they're really good, right? Let me see. I wrote something. Look, if I had to look in this environment that we're in, I expect mega caps to go nowhere, and kind of languish in this range. I expect inflation, commodities to remain high. I expect gold to outshine. I think housing also does okay when compared to stocks. This is why I think the markets have shifted from buy the dip to sell the rip. Okay, so this year, I don't think this is going to change anytime soon. There are going to be ranges between 5 and 10% band with extremities being sold. Okay, that's if I had to guess. As far as my conviction goes, I have a strong conviction the Fed won't do much in terms of real rate increases. 3 to 4 basis point hikes could be showboating without actually dent inflation. The part I'm not 100% sure is if this inflation will last. It's a very, it seems very complicated. So, so as far as Google, like you have companies like Apple and Google, they have a lot of cash and have and lots of pricing power. But I do think a device like Apple that inflation is not good. Same goes for like Google. The reason why Google is because they rely heavily on advertisers, right? And advertisers rely on the consumer to buy their stuff. So with your average consumer discretionary income going towards paying more on rent and gas, they pull back on their discretionary spending and it becomes a spiral. So this is why we're starting to see weakness in Google. Okay, if we start like looking at it from that point of view, even though they have a lot of cash, we're noticing now that the consumer is holding back. So with that being said, where sell the rips, we could see sell the rips more going into Google at this moment of time. Okay, so Google at the bottom end, they do have their split on July 18th. And we have earnings on April 26th. And more than likely, it's probably going to stay in this range. That's on a daily perspective. But as far as today, I think they're going to wait on what Google is. But right now, I would like to see Google come back up to that 25.72. It looks like it probably is going to come back to that 25.60 and see how it reacts. Their pre-market looks a little weak, but that's going to change. All right, so we got Google out the way. So let's look at Amazon. Okay, so Amazon, same type of thing, right? Wage inflation, they're meeting a lot of headwinds. And again, selling off here at the bottom range, trying to rally here, sold off pretty good pre-market. So let's see if we can get that 34, which is going to put us right on the top range and maybe come up to that 50 day and see how it reacts there. But right now, there is no trade. Don't like it. All right, as far as Tesla, now if Elon sells one share for Twitter, then that's probably going to hurt him. Okay, so Tesla right now, pre-market, not looking good, a little weak, right? Selling off pre-market around 9997. Things can change here. It's looking like a squeeze here. At the bottom range, we got 982. Again, could this be an exhaustion sell-off right here off the 50 or beginning sell-off, right? So right there, pre-market. And if it is, it's probably going to go to that 963, 973, currently 985. But things can change. So let's see. We got them both at the 50 in the hourlies and the 50-minute time frame. Exactly where I like to trade them. We do have earnings, so I don't think there's going to be a major sell-off. But if it does, it could trade them to the levels. On the top side, we got 1030, but Tesla has been under pressure here. So we got 1030 to the upside, right? There's a little level here at 10009. That's something that I've noticed before. If it can get above that, it could probably go to 1030. And then we got 1080 on Tesla. Right now, Tesla's under pressure. Let's look at ISRG. Again, under pressure, pre-market under pressure. Okay, CMG looked like a squeeze here too. CMG on the highs here, squeezing. This could be maybe a play to the downside back to the 50 at 1555. So watch that with everything I'm telling you about pricing power, consumer discretionary spending. I think that people, I don't see this kind of going any higher than this. There's a lot of headwinds up that 1620. So maybe it could come back to that 15. If it squeezes here, starts breaking down that 1593. More than likely, it's probably going to meet that 1560, 1550. Showing weakness here. All right, so they got CMG. So again, just gave you a play there for CMG. What else? Netflix. Let's look at Netflix real quick, because Netflix is announcing earnings. And again, remember, these guys guided down. So Netflix up at 400, sold off now 340. Does it continue? So again, sell the rips. So again, this is what I mean. Let it come back up and see if it sells the rips. Watch it at the 50-day moving there. Those are your training wheels, guys. Your training wheels are basically, again, you don't want to buy, you don't want to be buying puts when it's already too late. When it starts coming up, this is when you want to set up your trades right at that 50-day moving average on the hourly's 15-minute time frame or even 1 minute time frame. What else do we got? Let me see anything here. Apple. I think Apple. Let's look at Apple real quick. We'll look at Apple and then we'll look at Twitter, and I think that's where we're going to be done. Okay, so Apple. Okay, so Apple. Okay, so Apple comes up here to this 165. If it curls, can maybe go to 163, and this could be an exhaustion sell, or does it break through? If it comes up, if it starts breaking through, then more likely it's probably going to try to touch that 168. It's going sideways kind of. Well, it's got 165, 168, right in 167, 168, maybe there. But it's under pressure. It's below 170, guys. Below 170 is not good on Apple. That's going to put pressure on the markets. Right now, the E-minis are at 43.73. So we'll see. Let's look at Twitter. Okay, so Twitter, they just announced a red pill or blue pill. One of those pills. I don't know what's going down. But Twitter, they declined the $55 offers at 45. Let's see how this reacts, and let's see what Elon's has a plan B on this thing, but I don't know. It's just not really moving right now, just kind of going sideways. All right, guys, that's all I got. Let's look at Spiders again, and Spider is holding at 436. Again, sell the rips, like I said before. If it starts coming up higher, maybe that's going to be a good thing here. You know, so you know, as far as inflation, you know, if you believe that the Fed CPI is only 8-9%, I think it's way higher. And this means these prices that have risen a total of 15% over the 2 years, whether that's food, houses, or energy or autos, they have now established a new baseline. If CPI falls to 2% next year, which I don't think it will, but these prices are not coming down, what will make it worse in the realization by the market that the Fed won't do much about it? And once dollar starts cracking, we see even higher inflation. Just not a good combination to be in for the next few years. So that's what I'm looking at. So as far as Tesla, my line in the sand for Tesla is, and I'm just going to put it up again because it's coming up, and I think it's dependent on this 936. 936 is my line in the sand in Tesla, which is roughly right in here. Okay, well, 936. That's my line in the sand on Tesla. Okay, so it last traded 980. It can, and the 980 is another level that needs to hold above 980 as well. Their earnings are this Wednesday. So what else do we got? All right, guys. So that's all we got. Let's look at Spiders. You know, that's what I'm going to be focusing my attention right now. Spider is rallying here. So we'll like to see a setup. I want to see how it reacts around 437. And can we get up to this 440, you know, 440.03? If we can get up there, I'm probably going to be looking at for a trade in the first 15 minutes. But it's going to be quick. And then I'm going to see how it reacts up there. And I'm going to have my puts and my I'm gonna have my calls and puts ready, guys. So go out there, go get it. These levels have been working out like gangbusters. Doing pretty well. It is now 9:05. Just realized that things can change in the next 20 minutes. But this is your time. Get your coffee, drink some water, do your push-ups, whatever you can do. And get your calls and your puts ready on the screen, and just focus on one. I'm going to be focused on Spiders. E-minis is coming up. We've seen a lot of buyers coming in, but I don't know what this is going to translate to as far as we have a couple more things going on. All right, guys. So tonight, if you're part of the Patreon group, we are going to have that meeting tonight. I believe because we usually have it on Sundays, but Easter. We want to give people time with their families, and also so I'll be 8:30 Eastern time and 5:30 Pacific. It will be recorded, and I'll put it back on a Patreon. All right, guys. Have a good day. God bless, and take care. Trade well. And happy trading. Let's make, let's get some profits. All right. Take care. Take care. All right. Bye bye.